Talking about a revolution sounds. Don't you know? Talking about a revolution, it sounds like a whisper. While they're standing in the welfare lines, crying the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know? Talking about a revolution sounds. Who are people gonna rise up and get their share? Who are people gonna rise up? Take what's there. Don't you know you better run, 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 run. Oh, I said you better run, 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 run. Cause finally the tables are starting to turn. Cause finally the tables are starting to turn. Cause finally the tables are starting to turn. Cause finally the tables are starting.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday, the 6th day of November. The year is 2014, and if you can hear the sound of my voice, then you are the revolution. I am Smokin Joe Mekhael, and this is the revolutionary nightly news, smashing through the lies of the Illuminati, smashing through the lies of the New World Order, smashing through the lies of the government, whose lies are becoming more blatant every day, more obvious every day, more deceptive every day. There's a lot of news to get through today. It's been a very eventful few days. I want to talk about one thing first, and that's the Melbourne Cup race a couple of days ago. I made a post before the race on social media saying, here's a tip. Don't be distracted by this ridiculous spectacle while the government's poisoning our waters, killing people all over the world in these fake wars, trying to control people's minds. But this is something that people get really distracted by. And I was going to call this episode of the news the race that stupefies a nation. But I've been reading this awesome book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It is a phenomenal book. You can see I've gone crazy highlighting so much in here. And this book has taught me a lot. For example, William James said, "The deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated." He didn't speak, mind you, of the wish or the desire or the longing to be appreciated. He said the craving to be appreciated. Here is a gnawing and unfaltering human hunger, and the rare individual who honestly satisfies this heart hunger will hold people in the palm of his or her hand, and even the undertaker will be sorry when he dies. I understand my presentation style can be very bombastic, can be very braggadocious, can be very confrontational. But that's because on some level I'm freaking out about what's going on, about the tyranny that we're under, and about the plan for a supercharged tyranny, one that encompasses the whole globe, that encompasses every aspect of human life. And that's why I get aggressive sometimes. This book has helped me to learn that I need to be more conciliatory in my approach. I need to reach out more with the spirit of love and not criticize people as much as I used to. We're all learning, this is all a journey, and I'm trying my best. No, I'm not trying, I'm doing my best. Yoda said, you either do it or you don't. There is no such thing as try. I'm doing my best, and I know that day by day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. And I know that I'm on the right path, and I know that we're going to win this thing together. On that note, I'm not going to concentrate too much on the Melbourne Cup. People gave a lot of backlash because 2 horses died after the race. And that's a terrible thing. The animals are treated, pretty badly from what I can see. But I'm going to move on and talk about different topics right now because there is so much to get through. Let's do it. Starting with Ebola, this fraudulent, fake, engineered biological weapon perpetrated upon mankind by the governments and the pharmacological companies. This disgusting weapon. Let's talk about this article from naturalnews.com. CDC admits that it has been lying all along about Ebola transmission. Indirect spread now acknowledged. From naturalnews.com, as I said. Defying its own quack advice that the agency has been propagandizing for months, the CDC has now released a document on Ebola that admits the virus can spread through aerosolized droplets. Before they said that couldn't happen. The document, quietly released on the CDC website, also admits Ebola can contaminate surfaces such as doorknobs, causing infections to be spread through indirect means. From Infowars.com, Ebola, windfall for military-industrial complex. Contract represents militarization of Ebola vaccine development. On October 31, Perfectus Biosciences Incorporated announced it has received millions of dollars to develop an Ebola vaccine. The Pentagon awarded the contract through its Medical Countermeasure Systems Joint Vaccine Acquisitions Program, a program that develops and stockpiles vaccines to be used on soldiers. The $9.5 million award has been made with Battelle Memorial Institute through Chemical, Biological, Radiological and Nuclear Defense Information Analysis Center. The PRN Newswire released on Friday states. CBRNIAC is part of the Pentagon's Defense Technical Information Center. DTIC provides a suite of services to defense contractors and academic institutions. It also provides services of the Homeland Security community. And they continue to talk about a vaccine. I tell you, any vaccine they come up with is going to be a lot worse than the Ebola disease. This is all a staged event to make you take this vaccine. From globalresearch.ca, Empire or Republic, Imperial wars, scaremongering, and the Ebola epidemic. You can't have wars and public health, which is true. Washington escalates its military interventions abroad, launching simultaneous air and ground attacks in Syria, Iraq and Afghanistan, multiplying drone attacks in Pakistan, Yemen and Somalia, training, arming and financing proxy mercenaries in the Jordan, the Gulf states and Iraq, and dispatching National Guard battalions to West Africa, ostensibly to combat the Ebola epidemic, though they lack the most elementary public health capabilities. All in all, the US spent $3.5 trillion for military invasions over 6 years. At the same time, the US domestic public health services have deteriorated. At the state and local level, like Dallas, Texas, and at the national level, officials and major institutions demonstrate an inability to effectively detect and manage cases of Ebola infections among the general population in a timely manner. In New Zealand, MP demoted after suggesting homeopathy use in Ebola fight. Green MP Stephen Browning has been stripped of one of his portfolios after he suggested homeopathy could be trialled for curing Ebola. Greens co-leader Materia Toure said the party caucus had decided to remove Mr. Browning's responsibility for the natural health portfolio. The portfolio will be merged into the health portfolio, which is held by Kevin Haig. You even mention there could be some kind of natural alternative, natural remedy, natural cure, natural preventative measure, and they're going to target you because it's all a part of a massive plan to get you to take this vaccine. And if you know anything about the history of vaccines, you know that they don't bring good things. From naturalnews.com, medications are the #1 cause of allergy-related death in America. Pharmaceutical drugs are the top cause of sudden allergy-related death in the United States, according to a study conducted by the researchers from Montefiore Medical Center and Albert Einstein College of Medicine of Yeshiva University and published online in the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology on September 30. Of course, You take these drugs, you die. That's what they want. They want you sick, they want you weak, they want you dead. They are eugenicists who seek to massively cull the population on planet Earth. Are you getting an idea of what this big picture is? How all of these things tie together? Once again, what they put in our water. Fluoride officially classified as a neurotoxin in world's most prestigious medical journal. The movement to remove industrial sodium fluoride from the world's water supply has been growing in recent years, with evidence coming out against the additive from several sources. Now a report from the world's oldest and most prestigious medical journal, The Lancet, has officially classified fluoride as a neurotoxin in the same category as arsenic, lead and mercury. The news was broken by author Stefan Smile and disseminated by the Facebook page Occupy Food, which linked to the report published in The Lancet Neurology, Volume 13, Issue 3, in the March 2014 edition by authors Dr. Philippe Grandjean and Philippe J. Landrigan, MD. The report can be viewed by clicking here. It is a massive attack on our health, a massive attack on our minds, a massive attack on our bodies. And I don't want us to be under attack. If someone attacks me, I'm going to fight back. And this is how I'm fighting back, peacefully. Because I know if I fight back physically, then I will be locked up. I will be taken out. But no, I'm not going to fall into that trap. I'm all about the peace. I'm all about the love. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be strong. I don't want you to have neurotoxins dumped into your water supply. I don't want you to be the victim of pharmacological drugs, pharmaceutical drugs that poison you and kill people. I don't want you to get biologically engineered diseases like Ebola. But the government wants you to get all that stuff. They want you to be sick. Have a look at what's going on here. From Natural News, once again, here are a whole bunch of ideas on how to optimize the immune system naturally. And I encourage everyone to do their own research and discover what works for you. My theory, and I can't remember where I heard this, but it's an awesome theory. Read everything and make up your own mind. Don't believe everything I say. Don't believe a word I say, in fact. I want people to really read. I want people to expand their minds and come up with their own conclusions. Eliminate the immune system suppressors. The first step to proper immune function is to largely eliminate the worst offenders in its suppression, namely all forms of sugar, processed food, gluten, corn and soy, hydrogenated fats, alcohol, factory-farmed animal products like meat and dairy, chemical additives and preservatives, heavy metals like fillings, pollution, seafood, medications, electromagnetic frequencies, erratic sleep patterns, inactivity and stress. And you can also incorporate immune system builders, like a wide variety of clean, local and fresh vegetables and fruit, notably garlic, onion, ginger, turmeric, peppers, cruciferous vegetables, dark leafy greens, lemons and berries, vitamin C, camu, acerola cherry, guava, kale, oranges, vitamin D, sunlight, and or fermented cod liver oil, zinc, pumpkin seeds, probiotics, like sauerkraut, coconut kefir, apple cider vinegar, kombucha, antibacterial agents, antiviral herbs, adaptogenic herbs, pure clean water, grounding, moderate exercise, proper sleep patterns, meditation. We have the ability to make ourselves healthy or to make ourselves sick. Hippocrates said, "Let thy medicine be thy food, and let thy food be thy medicine." You don't need some pharmaceutical company making billions of dollars a year trying to sell you drugs, telling you what's best for your health, because that's not what's best for your health. That's what's best for their bottom line. That's what's best for their board of directors. That's what's best for their shareholders. You are the 100% shareholder for your body, for your mind, for your spirit. Why don't you cash that in and take control right now? Live free, livenatural.com. Sunlight aids in halting childhood obesity. New studies show sunlight helps in halting obesity and preventing type 2 diabetes. Of course it does, but they want to tell you that there's nothing healthy about a tan. You see that? There's plenty healthy about a tan. The vitamin D in sunlight can prevent so many illnesses, can help you regenerate after getting a whole bunch of illnesses. Do your own research. This article from the dailymail.co.uk, changing gears now. Pregnant mother sentenced to jail after she repeatedly allowed her son to play truant from school. Child had 67% attendance, record between July and October this year. It was the 5th time the woman had appeared in court over children's truancy. She was sentenced to 60 days in jail and will serve half of term behind bars. Parents can be issued penalties of up to £120 if child regularly plays truant. If this is not paid, they can be fined £2,500 or given a 3-month jail term. And so this is because the government wants control of your kids. They want to take them away from you. They want them in the government indoctrination camps, teaching them that the government is their mummy, the government is their daddy. And when they don't go to school, they want to have this plan where they're going to charge you for it. And they're going to send you to jail for it. It's just the government trying to replace the family on every level, like in 1984. From Red Dice Creations, Fed-backed study, how to brainwash public into fearing climate change like Ebola. $84,000 study seeks ways to make the public fear climate change and overpopulation. The National Science Foundation is funding a study to determine how to brainwash the public into fearing climate change and overpopulation as if they were Ebola. The NSF awarded an $84,000 grant to researchers at the State University of New York at Buffalo yesterday to figure out how to make the public fear climate change and overpopulation as much as Ebola by analysing how the public became concerned about potential large-scale Ebola outbreak in the US. And this is quoting from that. In addition to the issue-specific value of knowing more about risk perceptions related to the Ebola outbreak, findings from this project will inform the design of communication messages related to risk issues that are often perceived to be psychologically distant by the American public, such as climate change and overpopulation, the study's abstract states. The specific mechanisms through which the study variables influence risk communication behaviours will also inform communication campaigns aimed at encouraging greater public engagement with risk information. In doing so, the proposed research will integrate theory from social psychology and risk communication to explore the utility of psychological distance in informing public communication about emerging public health risks. The proponents of climate change, many of whom with positions of power within the government, have been facing growing public backlash as more and more evidence disputes global warming, so now they are simply trying to brainwash the public into accepting climate change. And that's what they do. They back the studies saying that what the government says is right. And if anyone else says anything different, despite the fact that there is more research, more evidence supporting their preposition, their supposition, their argument, the government will call them conspiracy theorists. And they can do that because they brainwash the public into going along with the government line. Going back to ISIS. Mainstream media fails to report recent massacres and atrocities at the hands of the Western-supported rebels. Of course, it is on record, ad nauseum, that the Western powers fund, train, give arms, shelter, weapons, intelligence to ISIS, other radical Islamic groups. And what about the Ukraine? Has everyone forgot about that? People are still dying over in the UK in this proxy war. Evidence is now conclusive. 2 Ukrainian government fighter jets shot down Malaysian Airlines MH17. It was not a BUK surface-to-air missile. And you can read this article on globalresearch.ca. It goes into depth. Also from globalresearch.ca, end the bloodshed. It's time for peace in the Ukraine. There is conflict all over the world because there is a globalist movement that seeks to control all of humanity. And I don't want any part of it. That's why I am an anarchist. I don't want any rulers. I don't want any masters. I don't want anyone to tell me what to do. I don't want anyone to tell you what to do. And I don't want to tell you how to live your life. You can do whatever the hell you want as long as it doesn't affect me, right? And that goes to the government. People around the world are standing up to your lies. They're standing up to your murder. You're not going to be able to handle this tidal wave, this tsunami of passionate people who are going to take their freedom from you. Peacefully, I might add. And yesterday was the 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I think of no reason that the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Well, maybe it shouldn't be forgot, but there's a definite reason why we shouldn't commemorate it and why we shouldn't lionize and idolize and wear Guy Fawkes masks. Guy Fawkes was an assassin trying to kill the King of England on behalf of the Jesuits, who are run by the Vatican, so they could install a pro-Vatican king. This is incredibly interesting history. The best place to read about it, there's so many places online, I recommend this one. It's an online copy of this book, Guy Fawkes, or A Complete History of Gunpowder Treason, AD 1605, with a development of the principles of the conspirators and some notices of the Revolution of 1688 by the Reverend Thomas Lathbury, M.A. And the Jesuits are at the very core of the Illuminati, at the very core of the New World Order, at the very core of the plan for global tyranny. You should really do some research on this yourself. And this is very interesting. From the New York Times back in 2011. Masked protesters aid Time Warner's bottom line. San Francisco. Anonymous, the hacker group, has jostled with the Iranian government and the Church of Scientology and has briefly shut down the websites of Visa, MasterCard and other global corporations. When members appear in public to protest censorship and what they view as corruption, they don a plastic mask of Guy Fawkes, the 17th century Englishman who tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament. What few people seem to know, though, is that Time Warner, one of the largest media companies in the world, and a parent of Warner Brothers, owns the right to the image and is paid a licensing fee for the sale of each mask. Ted Turner, this eugenicist who's talked about population control before, they are running this controlled opposition. They want you wearing this mask, not understanding what it truly means. They want you following people, not understanding what they're truly talking about. And here it is, what I'm talking about. This socialist from yournewswire.com. Chaos breaks out in London as Russell Brand joins thousands of masked Guy Fawkes protesters in dramatic bonfire night demonstration. I've talked about Russell Brand before and how he admits in his own words he is a socialist. He wants a socialist revolution. And he is co-opting the movement for change and the true movement for freedom around the world and trying to divert that into an authoritarian socialist channel, which is what the people in control want. This multi-millionaire who's met the Queen, who's an admitted socialist, is nothing more than a puppet. Research it for yourself. Don't follow this guy. Don't follow me. Follow your own spirit. Follow the spirit of freedom. I don't want a government. I don't want to be the leader of anything. I just want people to be free and strong and healthy. From DC Clothes Online, Samsung Smart TV records personal conversations and sends them to third parties. And I've spoken before about the recent Facebook app, which says that they have permission to keep your microphone on and record whatever they want, anytime. And this is part of the global surveillance grid. Samsung's new global privacy policy for its line of smart TV states that a user's personal conversations will be recorded by the device's microphone and transmitted to third parties. A 46-page privacy policy, which is now included in all newly purchased Samsung Smart TV, states that voice recognition technology may capture voice commands and associated texts in order to improve the features of the system. The policy, a summary of which is also posted online, ominously advises users to please be aware that if your spoken words include personal or other sensitive information, that information will be among the data captured and transmitted to a third party through your use of voice recognition. And this is the telescreen. This is Big Brother in your house, in your pocket. The government wanting to control everything you do, to surveil everything you do. That's not freedom, that's tyranny. And I'm not going to put up with tyranny. I'm going to stand up to bullies. I'm not going to let anyone push me around. It doesn't matter if you're 7 foot tall. It doesn't matter if you have all the armies of the world behind you. I have the spirit of truth and freedom and liberty right there. And you cannot defeat that. You cannot defeat that. Moving on. School hires FBI agent to monitor students' social media activity as snooping increases. Huntsville, Alabama. School districts across the country are increasingly employing snooping software or special cyber investigators to track students' social media activities in an attempt to crack down on bullying and illegal activities. Bullying and illegal activities, that's what the school's doing. It's bullying them, and they're illegally indoctrinating these kids. That's what's happening here. And there are a bunch of articles right here about the increasing militarization and disgusting atrocities committed by police in the United States. I'm not even going to show all these videos because they are graphic. Vermont cop caught on tape beating subdued man, from livenatural.com. yournewswire.com. Cops kill homeless man by firing squad over stolen coffee. You can see this video. 8 cops execute this guy. It is ridiculous. From rebelpundit.com. Man calls suicide hotline. Cops kill him. And from mysanantonio.com. Texas teen arrested, pinned down by cop for refusing to remove gang-related rosary. I've spoken a lot about things happening in the United States, things happening in Britain, things happening in Africa, things happening in the Middle East, in the Ukraine. And you say, what's the point of that? It's not happening here in Sydney. It is happening here in Sydney because we're all brothers and sisters all over the world and we're all connected. And more importantly than that, only through coming together will we be able to defeat the evil governments, the evil banks, the evil corporations who are trying to strangle dignity, who are trying to strangle prosperity. I have faith though. When you look into my eyes, you understand that I have faith in victory. I know that we're going to win. I'm not going to live my life under this tyranny without speaking out. The time's come for you to make a decision as well. You want to be free. You want your family to be healthy. You want the opportunity to live your life without the government's tentacles choking you. So join the revolution. Take a stand. Research this. Turn off your television. Invest in organic food. Invest in a filter to take out the sodium fluoride from your water. Read more. Expand your mind. Spread this message. Start your own news website. Start your own YouTube show. Write a book. It's time for us to step it up. You know that I know that we're going to win this thing. I know that we will defeat tyranny. And I believe and declare that you and I and the free people of planet Earth are going to crush the New World Order. Subscribe to this channel. Spread this message far and wide. The revolution is here.